Right, the final time for today, for the Final Fantasy stream. I'm going to see if this works, and continue. So we've recruited the 5 we need. Aramir, your recruiting went well, I trust. I am curious as to how my proposal was received by the rough and ready folk of Limsa Lominsa. A member of the legendary company of heroes indicated his interest. Astonishing. I knew enlisting your aid was the right choice. Few could boast the acquaintance of such an elusive character. I too was successful in my task. The Admiral consented to sign all documents requiring her approval. I can only hope that my visit with the Elder Seedseer proceeds as smoothly. Pray continue on to Gridania at your own pace. Jesus. Da 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 da. As if we look at the time for all the other parts, it's only been like 20 minutes, but as it's playing up I just have to leave it. My audience with the Elder Seedseer is due to commence momentarily. I would be grateful if you'd once more see to the task of recruitment here in Gridania. Okay, let's have a look. So we're going to do that one, then we'll go there. Laurentius. So we'll go across, we'll loop round and go down, and we'll go across. We'll do some ding dang do shapes. Okay, I think this is like I think this is going to be like some setup quests anyway, for maybe something big. I mean, we're clearly creating, or we're helping Alphanor create his new like faction. But we're going to see what else we can do. I'm thinking of other summon bosses we could use. I mean, you could have Shiva in Querthus, but you've already got Garuda in there though. But I imagine she'd be in before the thingy anyway. Ursendale, hello. Likely they're using some NPCs that we know. I'm guessing he won't. Will he move? Yeah, no, I was going to say he wouldn't move because you need him for the Hawk Manor hard. You speak to him about doing the other version of Hawk Manor. $255, need 25 more. Right, here we go. I don't really want to say too much because if I speak I may be in big trouble if it cuts off, so I'd usually be like, oh, hopefully it'll be alright this time, and then it'll go wrong if I say that unironically. What news, Aramir? For my part, the Elder Caesar was most amenable to our own requirements. A former woodwhaler and a seasoned adventurer, our company will not lack for a variety. That much is certain, an interesting harvest indeed. Yep, and now we go to Uldar. I left it for about 45 minutes. The first few times it cut off again, so I restarted the PS4, watched a YouTube video for like 10 minutes, and then I've come back. This time I haven't seen it buffer yet, but of course it could happen at any time, but hopefully this time it will be okay. I'm not doing too much this stream anyway. So Alphanor's creating a new faction, so I'm going around helping recruit for the new faction. So I'm going to assume this might be a setup that gets close to the DLC maybe. I mean, with all that's going on, I forgot to do the Binding Coil of Bahamut as well. Completely forgot. Shit. I mean, I'm not getting into this anyway because I never do, but I'll give it a go. Yeah, hopefully it is sorted, but I'll just have to continue. Uldar, the gilded city where one's fortune defines one's worth. I hope some manner of fortune is with us, and that his final leg proves as successful as the previous two. I suggest descending to the lower level before beginning your recruitment efforts. I do not think the Sultana will take kindly to us poaching from her personal guard. Okay, yeah. Actually, no. We'll go from here. We'll use the Ethernet shard. We'll go from here. So he's not going to do it because he has a quest. Yeah, so he's not going to get recruited. Shit, going wrong way. I swear, whenever there's duty finders on the Binding Coil of Bahamut, there's never any healers found. And I'm pretty sure it's always 2 tanks found and then never the bloody... and always 3 of the DPS as well. On Earth. Oh, we're at the Colosseum. Wilred. Right. What do you have to say, Alphanor? How fared you, Aramir? What hidden gems did the streets of Uldar offer up to your unrelenting gaze? A single Alamegan youth. Well, you've certainly given us an admirable start, even if our ranks are yet somewhat thin. In these troubled years following the calamity, talk of Eorzea's salvation must seem akin to grasping at clouds. What would be on ITV? But there have been those that have risen to the challenge nonetheless, and the hope that inspires these people was born in no small part from the victories you yourself have won. Thank you, Aramir. I will not squander the precious gift you have placed into my keeping. These recruits will become the foundation of a new beginning. Oh, nice. Very good movie. Very different for a Bond movie, but yeah. It's only been just over a year, so it must be the TV premiere of it. And yes, we are free to begin. As you have no doubt surmised, the Sultana also graced my trial company with her blessings. Our first wave of recruitment is over, the document signed, and the finances secure. There is naught to prevent me from taking the next step. You are concerned by the syndicate's involvement, as was I. Thus was the origin of every coin of their contribution carefully scrutinised and recorded. This organisation will not be built on corruption. Naturally, I'd prefer not to rely upon outside sources at all, but even my family's substantial coffers could not sustain a venture of this magnitude. And as for the rumours and doubts surrounding this enterprise, well, such things shall plague us until the company has had a chance to prove its worth. It will not be an easy process, but we will earn people's trust one success at a time. Speaking of time, we should waste no more of it. Let's return to the Rising Stones and lay the first stone for a united Eorzea. Well, I mean, No Time Today gets a lot of mixed reviews. People are like, oh, it's not really a James Bond movie. No. Because there's always people that have to bloody complain about stuff. But I really enjoyed it. Very unique James Bond movie, but hello, Sultana.
Tell me, General. What think you of Alfino's bold endeavour?
I think it is more than bold, Your Grace. His organization would pave the way for a united Eorzea. Well do I understand his impatience, since facing the common threat of the Ultima weapon, our nations have seemed farther apart, not closer together. Considering the many problems we face, should we not be glad that someone else is taking the initiative?
We have all pledged our cooperation, yet the grumbling continues behind closed doors. Uldar is not alone in her duplicity. I myself have doubts as to the good this organization will achieve. With the inclusion of the finest soldiers of the 3 grand companies, it promises to be a fearsome military body. But whom will it serve? Even under the watchful gaze of the Scions, it is not unthinkable that such a force could perpetrate a great wrong. Does it not concern you that a significant proportion of its financial backing came from the coffers of the Syndicate, that those unprincipled worms might forge this extraordinary gathering of warriors into a private army.
I have trust in the Scions, Your Grace. They have spared us no end of trouble at the hands of the Primals. If they seek reinforcements, I deem it unwise to deny them. As for their finances, full many gave generously. And though our nobles proffered a sizable sum, their coin did not spill from the pockets of Lolorito and his cronies. And what of the presence of our stalwart adventurer friend in this endeavor? I doubt the warrior of light would betray our cause.
Yes, there is that, I suppose. Yet I have known people to change. Whether we will or no, the events of the age hurl us this way and that, like a dust devil skipping across the sands.
My guy, Aramir, has saved this planet how many times now? Or this realm, sorry?
I have explored all avenues available to us, Your Grace. But as Ul'Dan law now stands, we lack the evidence to convict him of any crime. To arrest him on spurious grounds would only play into his hands.
He has all but committed treason, and yet we can do nothing? Then what good our government? What worth the royal house? How deplorable this mockery of justice!
Have faith, Your Grace. It is not over.
Well. Wait, what? Interesting. Is he the last? Is that the last quarter final? Or is there still one more? I think that's it, right? Or is the Michael Smith one still got to go? Bum bum bum, bitty 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 bum. Oh, we still got that. I mean, Dobie's been very good, but Van Gerwen looks. He's getting back to like his 2017 thing again. Anyway, that is not a journey I soon wish to repeat, but I cannot pause to rest. The culmination of all our effort is at hand. I must see to the preparations for the inaugural ceremony. Thank you for allowing me to monopolise your services, Aramir. I am certain the antecedent will be relieved to see you free for other duties. Greetings, Aramir. Alphenor tells me all is in place to begin his trial company. The Scions shall certainly be grateful to have the support of such an organisation. The inaugural ceremony is set to take place here at the Rising Stones. Tartaru is cooperating with Alphenor to see that all is to his readiness. All is in readiness, sorry. So I'm afraid the recruits themselves have been left to their own devices for the time being. Quite a number of new faces have arrived in Revenant's Told of late, and I wonder if Slathborn might not find himself overwhelmed. Would you speak with him and see if there is aught he requires? I find it quite funny that he's doing that to shield himself from the booze. because he is literally the most hated man in darts. But I don't know how much longer I want to go. I mean, it's been about 40 minutes collectively. It's 20 minutes here now, about 20 minutes of all the cluster that happened. I might just do another 20, just end it with an hour. You know, there isn't much going on. It's just a setup for the new alliance. We're clearly not getting into Binding Coil Bahamut. That is a very nice fire main. That. What can I do for you, Aramir? I thought you'd have your hands full helping out with this new arm of the Scions. Barely noticed your recruits arrived. It was barely a trickle compared to the flood of treasure hunters we have passed through here every day. While I appreciate your offer of aid, it is more your burden that concerns me. I'm told this trial company will answer directly to the antecedent, so I trust that means less work for you in the long run. Slathborn, the shipment, we couldn't... Gods, woman, what befell? We were bringing a shipment to Revenant's Toll, provisions earmarked for the frontier effort. But just as we sought to cross over into Mordona, we were set upon by brigands. I believe they may have been heretics. There were many, too many. We only escaped with our lives by abandoning the supplies. Pray forgive us. There was naught to forgive. Provisions can be replaced, but smart soldiers are hard to find. Take your rest and I'll have someone along to tend to those wounds. What to do? If heretics are involved, then this is like to be more than a case of simple thievery. Ishgard will need to be informed. Whence did these supplies originate? House for Temps. We collected the provisions from Camp Dragonhead proper. Understood. I shall see that they are apprised of this development. Aramir, were you not on good terms with the Knights of House for Temps? I will be sending them a missive immediately, of course, but I would also have you travel there and offer your considerable talents. Yes, I realise I contradict my earlier hope to lighten your load, but I need someone who can help bring this incident to a satisfactory conclusion. Our favourable relations with Ishgard are far too important to risk half measures. When are we actually going to go to Ishgard? As soon as we go there, I think the DLC starts. Thank you for your understanding. I am certain Lord Horshafont will be glad of your assistance. You know, it's been a while since we've gone to Coerthas proper. But we need to go to Ishgard at some point. Jesus Christ, man. Bum 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 bum. Here we go. It's literally not moved off of 2 tanks and 3 DPS for so long. Well, if it is my fine friend Aramir Ironheart, would you care for a plate of roast cockerel? Some mulled wine? No? I see you have not come into my hall merely to escape the biting cold. I was in fact on the verge of opening an urgent missive from Revenant's Toll. I suspect the timing of your arrival is no coincidence.
The incident with the new frontier hands? No, you need not elaborate. I have been following their progress with no small amount of interest. Brave men and women all. They do our nation a great service. The existence of a fortified outpost in Mordona will do much to dissuade the Empire from trespassing on Coerthas soil. Right glad am I that you have chosen to lend your support to this endeavor. Never let it be said that House Fortom does not acknowledge the efforts of her allies, or her debts. 'Twas in the spirit of gratitude that I arranged for sundry supplies to be delivered to Revenant's Toll. That the shipment should chance to be waylaid by heretics is poor fortune indeed. Poor fortune, I say, yet not without precedent. If you would know the truth of it, these incorrigible villains grow more organized with each passing day. This new unity of purpose we attribute to their leader, the Lady Iceheart. But though I have devoted significant resources to the task of identifying this woman, we have yet to learn so much as her birth name. What we do know is that the heretics speak of Iceheart in reverent tones, and would gladly embrace death rather than betray her. Such loyalty is rare indeed, and I fear to imagine what so committed a collective might achieve.
Because before the DLC starts, there are 2 different dungeons left. So you got the Snowcloak in Coerthus, and then you got the Keeper of the Lake in Mordona. Don't know if that's going to be like past the DLC, if that's going to be like these missions in between.
The brigands have not yet been so brazen as to risk direct confrontation here in Dragonhead. Some few of their number have, however, been sighted not far to the west of here, and with ever-increasing regularity. A visit to Whitebrim Front may bring you the answers you seek. Will you brave the snows, knowing what implacable foes may lie in wait? Hallone's blessings be upon you! Though I take no pride in the admission, many of mine own countrymen are not so well suited as you adventurers to dealing with such foes. Were they dragons, it might be otherwise. But truly, I could not wish for a finer ally. You have done much for my house in the past, and I have no doubt but that I shall have cause to celebrate your deeds again ere long. Should you learn aught of value, pray return to me forthwith. A warm hearth and a warmer welcome shall be waiting for you.
There we are. Let's see if I can do this quest line, and I'll end the stream after. It just depends how long it takes. But yeah. So we've done Dismail Darkhold, we've done the Aurum Vale. We do have the Snowcloak as well, because we've done the Stone Vigil. It's got the Snowcloak and the Keeper of the Lake as well, as I said. But we'll see when we do those. Yeah, I'm never getting into the Binding Coil of Bahamut, I don't know why. But Aramir, welcome, welcome. You'll be pleased to know that the repairs to Stone Vigil proceed apace. We should rebuild sure and strong, that the Dravanians might batter themselves senseless against our shield in the west. I would venture, however, that matters of masonry are not what brought you to Whitebrim. On the trail of a band of thieving heretics, you say, by a fury, but you do seem destined to cross paths with those villains. I must confess then, 'tis a sad truth that the wilds hereabouts have indeed grown thick with their number. They strike swiftly without warning, and are canny enough to evade our most able trackers. But 'tis not merely their newfound organisation that confounds us. The heretics themselves seem somehow changed. I know not what manner of influence this Iceheart wields, but the men we face seem utterly lost in the grip of righteous fervour. 'Tis an unsettling and unnatural zeal. Mayhaps you would care to question one of their recent victims. As fate would have it, the arrival came moments after a trader was waylaid on the road. A patrol found the unfortunate fellow lying senseless in the snow, and carried him to our infirmary. Assuming he has regained the use of his faculties, the merchants might recall some small detail that could aid you in your task. Tell you what happened? Why, yes, of course, I'm quite recovered enough for that. Anything to help catch those cowardly black hearts. I was travelling my usual route to Whitebrim Front when a sudden blow sent me reeling. The next thing I knew, I was on the ground and several heretics were rifling through my cargo, arms, armour, crystals. They were taking everything. 'Twas then that one of them noticed my bleary gaze, and stalked over to better acquaint my head with his mace. Before darkness claimed me, however, I distinctly hear the words, "Return to Snowcloak." I dare say that this was where they were hauling my goods, but you'll not catch me rushing off in pursuit. Search the wilds of Snowcloak and defeat any heretics you encounter. That's down here. Don't know if they'd be doing the dungeon or not eventually, but we'll see. You are so weak. So we haven't done a dungeon in a while, not main story wise, so if we end up doing one I wouldn't be surprised. Because the snow cloak is blocked off for now. Ah, draw your weapon, foul. Wait, I recognise you, adventurer. You are come seeking heretics? Then we share a common purpose. We were on patrol when we chanced across one of the raiding parties and pursued them here. By rights we should have them cornered in this ravine, and yet they are gone, vanished like icy wraiths. Well, she's the leader that was mentioned. I forgot her name already. Aramir's like, you can't escape me. So they have a secret way into the snow cloak. A glimpse of women atop a cliff. Could it be Iceheart herself, come to sneer at our folly? Oh wow! Ha! I don't like going price, so that's good. You glimpsed the woman atop the cliff. Yep, that's it. Over the night. And to where did she disappear? The heretics must have discovered a passage through the frozen walls, some hidden tunnel that escaped our notice. We have not the men to risk further investigation. It would be best here to return to Whitebury in front and lay our suspicions before Lord Driemon. The snow cloak. Aramir, it appears I owe you my thanks once again. The surviving knights spared no detail in their report. The men you found out near Snowcloak were some of my finest, that they should be bested so handily. I fear I've woefully underestimated the threat these heretics pose. While I understand you might balk at the notion, I must ask that you put aside your mission and consider the stolen provisions lost to us for now. It would be ill-advised to blunder unprepared into what may well be the very lair of our enemy. Pray return to Dragonhead and inform... Yep, okay. It's still 2 out of 2 and then 3 out of 4. Just never get into it. Why is the binding coil of Bahamut not popular?
Your return is most timely. Of their own accord, my thoughts had turned to your task and the progress thereof. I confess, my imaginings tended toward the grim and bloody. But you are here now, and I suspect such frivolous wonderings do little justice to the reality of your travails. Tell me, what did you learn of Iceheart? Indeed, and this transpired at Snowcloak? Of all the highlands, that towering wall has borne the worst of the region's brutal shift in climate.
That is true, but Gerwin
So
Price,
inhospitable has
Van
Snowcliff
Gerwen is
become.
looking ridiculous,
We have
but
still to survey the area in its
we'll see.
entirety. Could its frozen heights conceal the heretics' hideaway? Mayhap a more robust reconnaissance effort is in order. Putting such considerations aside for the moment, we still know far too little of this Iceheart. That she is capable of commanding such a band of fanatics bespeaks natural authority, and no small measure of charisma. As much as
Not
I would
many
like to
people do,
fathom this mystery with you, the situation has grown
but if
beyond
he,
my
I mean, if he
personal
is getting into form and close to what
I
he
am
was
bound
like
by
playing
duty to
2017,
inform
then
the Temple Knights and request
be
that they
very
bring this
difficult
matter
to
its
stop him.
conclusion. Giving the glowing reports the new commander has garnered thus far, I am certain that they can be relied upon to take appropriate action. Though Iceheart's true identity yet eludes us, you have provided us with a point from which to begin. Sometimes it takes but a single stone to prompt an avalanche. On the matter of the stolen provisions, I have already made arrangements for a second shipment to be sent to Revenant's Toll. I could not well allow such an honorable venture to be undermined by one miserable setback.
right. So that's something we're going to return to. But they've at least set it up. I'm guessing we'll probably have like our inauguration of the thingy and then go from there. Da 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 da. Aramir, it's good to see you return to the toll. How fared you in the frozen waste of Querfus? How's for Tom? Is to send us a second shipment? I must send thanks to Lord Haurchefant for his continued generosity. Yet even as our town grows in prosperity, I fear it will attract ever greater numbers of those who would do us harm in the name of greed or power. All of us, Alphanor's new recruits included, must remain vigilant against such threats. Yeah, boy. While you're away in Querfus, preparations for the inaugural ceremony were all but completed, although Tartaru does yet seem somewhat flustered. Okay. Let's go in, we'll do this and then probably end it because it's close to an hour, and because about an hour was wasted doing the bloody thing. What's up, Tartary? Naramir, you startled me. You wish to lend a hand? Splendid. Would you be a dear and hand these uniforms to the new recruits? They're scattered about Revenant's Toll and I haven't the time to track them all down. Okay. Sure. Why is it so hard to get into the binding coil of Bahamut? I don't understand. Is it not popular compared to all the other like trials and stuff? I'm going to experiment and see what happens if I select all 5. I was going to do them in order, but I don't think that's happening, is it? There you go, mate. Why do you have to be awkward? Not bothered about the text box of these. Real. Wilred. Tataroga. Femi from the Shroud, one of the elves. Ergmus from Limza Lominza. And Ilbird from Glidania. Right, so we've somehow lost a tank in this thing. Yeah, they're showing all the different bloody ones, but there we are. However do you want it? However do you need it? Surely we got 10s and 20s. Yes, Aramir. Tartary mentioned you were handing out the new uniforms. I assume you've now met the rest of the recruits. Some few answered the call to arms I put forth through the established grand companies and such. We are not yet an army, but there is much a small corps of elite warriors we can achieve. Did I mention I'd thought of a name for the company? 'Tis my hope that it shall soon be known across the breadth of Eorzea. The moment the truth draws near, Aramir, once the last of the recruits have gathered, I shall make the official announcement. Right.
Comrades, your presence here this day signifies the momentous choice that each of you has made. With your strength now pledged to the scions of the Seventh Dawn, you are beholden to no single nation. You stand as the vanguard for a united Eorzea. From this moment forth, I declare you crystal braves. Let us mend this fractured realm and face our enemies as one. Whether it be the beastmen and their primals, or the conflict in Carteneau, it is plain that the nations of Eorzea cannot solve the problems which plague the realm. Thus does it fall to some few heroic souls to succeed where they have failed. Come, take your place at the Scion's side as guardians of Eorzea, and together we shall fight for the freedom of all! For the freedom of all!
And there we are. Lovely jubbly.
A rousing speech, Alphino. Or should I say, Crystal Brave Commander Leveilleur?
Please, Antecedent. The title is honorary. I shall not be leading the troops into battle, as it were. We are of the same purpose. Let us join hands and do what must be done to save this land.
The Scions stand ready.
Aramir being the man of many words, as usual. But there we are.
I'm eager to see what the Crystal Braves might accomplish. This shall prove an interesting time indeed for the Scions. Yes, I'm listening. So our worst fears are confirmed. The entire Isle. Such power defies comprehension. Truly? Kryl is alive? Thank the 12.
Is that Kryl from FF5?
I see. pray, inform me if her condition changes. Yes, I shall pass on your words to Urianger. My thanks. I shall contact you anon. When I learned of the loss of the Isle of Val, I dared not hope that my friend had survived. Yet, by some miracle, it would seem she has. She's still to regain consciousness, it is true, but better that than death. Putting this happy news to one side, we must now endeavor to make sense of the readings taken by the survey party. It appears the etheric disturbance which accompanied the Isle's destruction is of a magnitude alarmingly close to that of Ultima. Could the Ascians be responsible for this devastation as well? I wonder, have you heard aught from the Mother Crystal since the battle with the Garleans? Then she speaks to neither one of us. Heidelind's silence portends naught but ill, I fear. Louisoix, I pray you yet watch over us.
Oh, these are no good, are they? Fucking hell. It's my life, I do whatever I wanna do. It's my life. Very good. See that the provisions are prepared for transport. Let us hope that this shipment is spared the fate of the last. I can feel it. The winds are oncoming fierce this day. Is that the Foundation in Ishgard, by any chance? La Habrea and what's his name, Elidibus, and whoever this twat is. Well, that doesn't bode well. Yeah, it's been quite a quiet setup stream, this one. But we've got the Snow Cloak, which has been introduced. A new chapter of New Game Plus has been out. Oh, so there's one more part to A Realm Reborn. And there's only 2 parts to Endwalker. I see. So part 4 is the Ultima Weapon section. Raids, Alliance Raids, Trials. So, I mean, that will be the Binding Coil of Bahamut, but there's no fucking thing coming up. Hildebrand Agent of Inquiry. Roll Quest, Void Quest, Variant Dungeons. Oh, wow, I did on part 1. Fucking hell. Be a lot of shit. They're all like all the class ones, but we don't do that shit. So yeah, one more part to A Realm Reborn, and then we're on to Heaven's Ward. Well, that's part 1 of the post game, you could say. It's still A Realm Reborn, but that's where the main game ends technically. So once that part's done, we move on to Heaven's Ward, and then of course Stormblood onwards is blocked by a paywall, but I might end up playing it myself eventually. Anyway, here we go. Get these last A Realm Reborn quests ready to be completed. Try as I might, I cannot shake a creeping sense of dark foreboding, but it avails us naught to fret about the unknown. We must concentrate instead on the problems of the present. The primals have been relatively quiet of late, and the beast tribes who summon them are under constant surveillance by the Grand Companies. Should any suspicious activity be afoot, you may be certain that we will hear of it. And until such time as a permanent solution to the primal problem has been found, we can do little but wait and observe. As for the Ashians, Urianger is wholly dedicated to finding the means by which we may defeat the dark beings. Let us pray for good tidings on that front. But all of this you knew already. Let us speak then more current matters, in particular the state of the Crystal Braves. Alpha Nor did well to found the organisation, but ensuring its smooth operation is another matter entirely. Though I doubt not that he is doing his best, I felt that a helping hand or two would not go astray. To this end I offered to send one of the Archons to assist him, but he declined. You know how he can be, independent to a fault and singularly loath to accept help. Save, of course, when that help comes from you. Alpha Nor has entrusted countless matters of import to your care in the past, and I believe he would not hesitate to do so again, were you to offer. I should be most grateful if you would go to him and support him in whatever manner you are able. I also need to see if there's any, like, side quests, because this is like a new part, technically, which I can now see. I don't know if there's going to be more side quests that surface. There might not be. But if, like, after every part you end up getting a few side quests here and there across different places, it wouldn't surprise me, but you know. What is it, Aramir? And do be concise, I'm rather busy. You would lend a hand, you say. I see. Well, now that you mention it, there is a matter that wants for attention. Given its sensitive nature, I was hesitant to entrust it to my braves, but the demands upon my time are such that I had little choice. Which is not to say that my men want for labour. Though we are but newly formed, there is already a great demand for our services, and we are hard pressed to answer all petitions, but I digress. The fact is, I would sooner attend to this particular matter myself, but my presence is required elsewhere. That being the case, I have entrusted its resolution to my second in command, Captain Ilberd. Tell him that I sent you, and he will furnish you with the particulars. My thanks in advance, Aramir.
Hail to you, sire. How might we serve you? Commander Leveilleur bade you serve us? These are welcome tidings indeed. Given the sensitive nature of the task, I could not rely on one of my own. That which I'm about to tell you, I tell you in the strictest confidence. Some days ago, we received certain documents from an anonymous source. They notified us of the presence of a Garlean agent within the ranks of one of the Grand Companies. Following some discreet inquiries, we identified a suspect among the Immortal Flames, whom we detained for questioning. Alas, the man was not our agent. He was but one of many men in the agent's employ. We pressed the traitor for a name, but he had none to give. He claims never to have met his master, whom he knows only as the Ivy. He was, however, certain that this Ivy had coiled itself around every part of the Immortal Flames. It would seem our quarry joined the company some time ago, and gradually recruited others to his cause. These conspirators are the vines by which he learns our secrets, all without exposing himself. It won't be easy to identify the Ivy amidst this tangled mass of subterfuge. Now, much as I would prefer to proceed with due discretion,
Circumstances demand that this matter be settled post-haste. Garlemald's War of Succession nears its end, and it is feared that the Empire will soon resume its march on Eorzea. When it does, we can ill afford to have traitors in our midst. The Ivy must be rooted out now. We must begin by apprising General Roban of our findings. I would ask that you accompany me to the Hall of Flames, and remain on hand to see that things go smoothly. Assuming the Ivy's tendrils are as widespread as we believe, he will be aware that an investigation is underway. And if that is the case, he may well move against us.
Oh.
We must be prepared for anything, while taking care not to betray our purpose by seeming prepared. A simple enough task for a one-man army like you.
What? It doesn't look like you get any extra quests. I mean, you've got the Moogle delivery quests to finish, but I can do them whenever. I'm keeping them as they are in Lumsla. But that's just the way it is. I think I only need like 300 more bloody elegant tombstones as well. Because we have what? Just the 2 rings. Yeah, there's nothing else. Let's go. Keep it moving, Jesus Christ. Right, we'll do this and then boom.
Well, well. What brings you here, my friend?
He is here at my behest. Greetings, Roban. It has been a while.
Hilbert, you old scoundrel. When they told me you'd be visiting, I scarce believed my ears.
Are they
But
brothers?
look at you. The honored captain of the Crystal Bloody Braves. Who'd have imagined, eh?
Not many, but fewer still would have imagined your destiny lay in politics, old friend.
Aye. We've both come far, have we not? Lest you wonder, Hilbert and I go back a long way. We've been friends and rivals since we were lads. The last time we saw each other, Alamigo had just fallen, so you can guess how many summers it's been. And in all that time, not a word from the fool.
Ah, well, my dealings tended toward the modest and mundane, unlike some I could mention. As I hear it, no sooner did you reach Thanalan than the brass blades clapped you in irons and dragged you off to die on the blood sands. Being a stubborn sort, you won 1,000 matches and earned yourself a place in the people's hearts while you were about it. Then, with your mountain of prize money, you bought the Colosseum and secured a seat on the Syndicate. Those balls, brother! Rags to riches does not do it justice. You're a hero to the common man.
Bah, spare me. I'm no hero. If anyone is worthy of that title, it's our friend here. Next to him, I'm little more than a glorified butcher. But you, Hilbert, you sell yourself short. By all accounts, you are an adventurer of some standing.
I like to think that I did my part for the greater good. But if you're no hero, then I'm no adventurer, not in this company. Anyway. I have tidings.
So there has been progress. I've let it be known that this meeting is a reunion between old friends. None will give your visit a second thought. To convene elsewhere would only attract attention. Let us speak here, in plain view of all. So it is we who have been compromised. Teleji Adeleji's machinations have shaken Ul'dah to her foundations. In such uncertain times, a man's loyalty may be bought for a fistful of gil. But if this snake has truly been in our midst for as long as you say, we must needs consider a far graver possibility. Conspiracy. Could it be that the monetarists have been in league with the Empire from the first?
Really wouldn't surprise me.
Very well. I will have my most trusted men investigate the matter. Continue your inquiries in the meantime. It does me well to see you again, old friend. When next we meet, let it be over a flagon of ale.
I look forward to it. Let us reminisce of bygone days, and drink to the future of our homeland.
Dun 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 dun. So she's been tasked as one of the ones. That tall elven lady.
Flame General. You wear the mantle well, old friend. I must work hard if I'm to keep up. Well, it would seem your services were not required after all. I dare say we have Roban's prudence to thank for that. Still, I was glad of your presence. My thank.
I guess I'll take that one. There we are. Da-da-da-da. Our hunt for the Ivy begins in earnest, Scion. Suffice it to say, we must tread warily, but one misstep may well cost us our lives. Our business here is concluded for the time being. Let's return to the Rising Stones to report to Commander Leveler. It's going to return, and then from tomorrow we will start the quest line to actually hunt down this snake in the grass, the Ivy. However, that marks the end of this episode of my playthrough of Final Fantasy XIV within the Final Fantasy Marathon. And in the next episode I will be, as I said, kind of getting underway with the final quest line, or the final part in the Realm Reborn story, where I'll be tracking down the snake, the Ivy. And then of course there could be other quest lines that we explore as well, because we've got the Snowcloak quest in Querthus that could surface whenever we've found out about what's going on with La Habrea and like that army that's over somewhere. We've got to assume in Ishgard, and then you've got everything else. But until then, hope you have enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next episode.